Every time the picture pops up when we do the open, look, they're such a beautiful, beautiful couple. Hey, the person who stole the show is Reverend Michael Curry, and he's going to be doing an interview in just a moment. We want to hear from him, but I think he's walking up to the microphones because that's what everyone is talking about.
He brought down the house.
He certainly did bring down the house.
A message of love.
Love and encouragement, and talking about, started with a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., ended with a quote from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
How often has that happened during a royal wedding?
And it was completely about inclusion and about the power of love, right?
Yeah, and I think that's what it was titled for. And I think even just when he started, when he addressed everyone as brothers and sisters, he spoke to everybody in that church as equals and as the same person. And I think that's what really struck a chord and what made people really connect to him. I mean, I was standing right on the street outside of the church, and a lot of people thought, "Oh my gosh, he's going on for too long." But at the end of it, I think everybody was really happy and impressed by his words.
Oh, absolutely.
I think it's what Angela said, is that you weren't used to it, so you're like, "Oh, where's he going with this?
What did you make of it, Angela?
What's he going to do?"
You
Why did
did.
it go over so well, you think?
Well, I think he just got very enthusiastic. He might have been speaking a bit slower than he thought he would, and he timed himself. It's not exactly right. Or he just decided, I have these things that I want to say, and I'm going to say them. I love the feeling of what he was saying about the power of love, and it has been that between Harry and Meghan, and it is... to do it in a holy place really appeals to me.
It was electrifying, I thought. Incredible delivery. I'm afraid that I have sat through a lot of Church of England sermons as I was based in the Church of England, and I hate to say it, but a lot of boring sermons, quite dry addresses. He was passion, he was excitement, he was love, and he set the place on fire. He was incredible, and I do think that the Queen loved it. I think she loves evangelical preachers. Of course, she loved Billy Graham. I think he would be popping around for tea.
Let's pop into him. Let's
listen
listen to him now.
Oh, let's listen to him because he's fantastic.
It was a proper wedding. This was not theatre with a couple of really beautiful people in the middle. It was two young people profoundly in love with each other, committing themselves. It was tear-jerking. I mean, it was really beautiful. And I'm so thrilled to have been part of it. I just thought everything went right.
Now, Archbishop Justin, you said that Bishop Michael was a brilliant pastor and a stunning preacher. I think we saw an example of that today. Would you agree with that?
Well, I think, forgive me for not sparing your blushes, Michael, but I think what we saw in that is that preaching is not a past art, that the use of language to communicate the good news of Jesus Christ just blew the place open. It was fantastic. And you could see people just caught up in it and excited by it.
Bishop Michael, let's talk about that sermon then. I think it's probably safe to say that we haven't seen a sermon quite like that in the grounds of Windsor Castle. Certainly not at a royal wedding.
Yeah, I think that's safe.
That's safe to say. Can you just tell us a bit about what was behind it?
Well, it really was, to be honest, the good news of Jesus Christ. That it really is good news, actually. And the good news not only that we are loved, but that this love isn't just simply a sentimental thing.
Yeah.
This is actually a way of life. And it's a way of life that actually makes a difference in people's lives and in the life of the world. It's real, and it's wonderful, and it's meant for us all.
Have you had any reaction? Did you manage to speak to the couple afterwards?
Just very quickly. I mean, very quickly. And they said thank you, and they were kind and gracious. And the nice thing was, during most of the sermon, we were making eye contact throughout. They were, one of the things I've learned is, I've been ordained a long time, is that when you do a wedding, talk to the couple.
Yeah.
And their eyes and their smiles and their reactions were talking back. I mean, it was nonverbal communication throughout the whole thing. And you could watch them look at each other. And even when they weren't talking, the way they looked at each other just sent a message of, these people are in love, for real.
And after your sermon, Bishop Harry, we saw on the screen mouth "wow" straight after. Clearly,
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
He
That's great.
clearly with them. I mean, in terms of a royal wedding, Archbishop, it was unconventional, shall we say? A sermon unconventional for a royal wedding, having a gospel choir. Things were slightly different. I mean, what's your reaction to that?
Well, obviously, there's nothing. There is nothing conventional about Christianity. Christianity is about taking sin and me out of the center of the world, putting God and through Jesus Christ and the love of God into the center of the world, and blowing open a revolution that gives an energy and life to the world that nobody has ever replicated or seen. There is nothing conventional about Christianity, and so it's appropriate that that was unconventional.
And Bishop Michael's sermon, very unconventional. What do you think the reaction of the Queen and Prince Philip and other members of the royal family was?
Well, the ones I haven't spoken to all of them, but those that I spoke to were really excited by it, and the people afterwards that we spoke to at the reception and other places were gripped by it. This was raw God, and that's the business.
Did you have